SI25 champions, the SI24 rematch. There's so much on the line, but also so much historicalness. And the social prediction, I think, is absolutely spot on. 51%. You know, you kind of look at the two teams in their tournament so far. 2-2 record for FaZe, but they've played some really, really good teams. They beat BDS. They were able to beat. Well, they almost beat Liquid. It was actually 7-8. That was a close one. But ultimately for FURIA, they're 3-1. They've actually been having an incredibly good tournament. They beat out Elevate, who of course have qualified already. 7-1 versus BDS, big stomping, and 7-4 versus Secret. The real letdown was yesterday against Dark Zero, where they got beaten to a pulp 2-7. So for FURIA coming into this game, I guess they've lost a little bit of that shine off of yesterday's loss. They need a rebound. What a perfect match to rebound to against FaZe. As we get the band's Blackbeard Glaz taken off the board, followed by the Asami in the castle.
Yeah, completely different kettle of fish though here in the Brazilian matchup. We saw on the pre-show desk, there's so much historical data between the two. For the most part, it has been FaZe that have had their number. That being said though, FURIA have had their glimpses of brilliance as well. And of course, with that SI24 Grand Final.
And again, just to re-simplify, it is straight up win and you're through, which is really good. Because had DC won, then we would have had weird shenanigans and round differentials and 7-0s. None of that. This is it. Straight siege. As easy as it can be. You win, you go through. You lose, you go home. FaZe will begin defense on Cafe. And very much excited to see how this one does play out. I almost don't want to overhype it and it ends up being like a 7-3 and it's never really a contest. It's very difficult to predict when it comes to these two teams. But very much looking forward to this. And also for two teams that just haven't made roster changes for such a long time. Core stability, such a big strength when it comes to Siege. When you see this tournament, how many teams, of course, have made roster changes, to see these two teams still with that core 5 after all these years is very much good to see.
Well, I think regardless of the scoreline in this matchup, the reality is one of the best teams in the world will not be playing in front of their home crowd this weekend. That's the big storyline. This could be a 7-0 and it's still going to be
at least
exciting in that element, right?
At least we get one of them, right? But yeah, you're absolutely spot on. FaZe defending first up. 7th so far at the tournament, 60% defensive win rate. FURIA's not exactly been lighting it up either on attack. 7th with only a 48% attacking win rate. In terms of some of the start players, right, just to kind of give some dues and how they're playing, JB92 has been on an absolute tear. 2nd for EPS, 132. Whopping plus 17, 4-1 on entry. You can't get much better than that. Yeah,
Philippox as well in the top 10, 6th. So they've had a couple of standout players. FaZe just inside the 10. Had a pretty good tournament.
First contact, it's hurt, and it's Handy that will fall. That's a nice start for FURIA. A little swift entry on the Grim of all operators, and Handy will be the first death of this match. Not ideal for FaZe to already be one down this early into the rounds. Plenty of time for FURIA to continue to formulate what they want to do, clear out top floor. Again, Cafe, one of the maps as well when it comes to CGX with the new repelling system as well, guys. This is kind of what caught your eye about this map and why you kind of wanted to see it and how it maybe plays out, especially on the top floor.
Yeah, I've definitely not been the biggest fan of this map historically as it's matured in the pool, but that being said, the attack with a lot more freedom now with the changes in CGX to repel it a little bit more freely. Oh, Stoles.
Well, Philippox just goes for a drop down and not really followed by anyone else either. I'm not sure if that was a lack of communication. It just gives his life away and gives FaZe a really good look back into this round. Nate has been able to get over towards Shop, does have the kit, but now you've got one less body to be able to throw at this top floor. Under a minute left. That's a strange way for FURIA to give one back, a free one at that, and now KZ will go for the drop. Knows there's obviously a large hole towards backstore and does find a way to get involved. No, he got nothing from that. Spraying and praying, but no prayers answered, and in the end, only down to JV92, and it's an attack for FURIA that has completely petered out. Never looked likely.
I mean, they had no execute utility at the end there. They were forced into a drop and a lurk to try and find that opening, which the rest of the attack could have collapsed around, but it never really presented itself.
Souls with a 3K. Incredible defense on site and FaZe, considering they lost Handy at the very beginning of this round, will be more than happy to take this one in a rather comfortable fashion. There was one pixel, doesn't matter. Good swing at the end. And FaZe have drawn first blood.
Yeah, a bit of a sketchy start there from FURIA. Again, though, it's been a heavily defender-sided map thus far, and so the benchmark for them, at least one to remain competitive, two probably a pretty positive result at the end of the half. So it's about maintaining composure. And Cafe is a map where some of the sites can play out in a different dynamic as well. depending on what kind of approach you want to go for. They don't necessarily all head from the top red drop. And the rappel game, and Kitchen will be a good example of that. We could see a world in which they do go a little bit more direct through bake. We could see the map clear. There's a couple of different options available as we look through the replay package for that previous round. FaZe tried his best to be that point of difference in the attack, but
couldn't find it.
Yeah, FaZe were pretty switched on that.
Yeah, great way to start, get the energy levels up. But we saw in the last match what sometimes you can start well and maybe it's all about how you finish as well. DZ had that 5-2 lead and
10 seconds to go.
In the end, G2 brought it back. And if you wanted to go really deeper into the historical books all the way back, map 5, SI24 Grand Final, FaZe 6-1 lead. Couldn't close out against this FURIA roster, of course, then W7M.
So the sense in play then for FURIA in this round, and we'll see how they're able to play around that, keeping in mind that...
You got Sledge and you got Buck, so first floor is going to be kind of, or second floor is going to be what they're targeting.
I mean, keeping in mind defensively, there's no BPCs and no Warden. So.
Try and get train control and mining, open up the floorboards, put pressure down below. Just kind of having a look and see if there's any roam game from FaZe, but not really employed. It's very much just kind of hold your default positions.
We are not protected.
Maybe Cyber could be the one towards Bar if he wants to get moving around the map later in the round.
Reloading.
But right now it's full map control for FURIA, which is honestly what they probably want with a lineup such as this. You can get straight in towards mining, straight in towards train, open up the floorboards. You get the Sledge and the Buck to do that, and then you've got your Sens for the late round execution.
Yeah, critical that FaZe don't give away anything for free here. Otherwise, that bunker strategy will be unlocked by FURIA, and they'll have that flood enabled. Vert established.
But they're not playing on site. So if you're FaZe here and you're giving up second floor, you can't really play the side as much. You know that they're going to pressure you from above.
Yeah.
Their positioning right now is actually really, really good. It's like, okay, we'll give you second floor. Waste all the time you want, but we are in a power position where if you actually want to hit that site, you've still got to clear so much on this first floor. You're going to waste a lot of time on the second floor.
Yeah, they're trying to force individual clears into these power positions. The FURIA will need to adjust accordingly.
Because there's no pressure over towards Bakery. Souls is just sitting there. Same with Vidiking. So I wonder at what point does FURIA pull the trigger here. There's 60 seconds remaining. Do you go for a fast drop, try and clear out VIP?
Yeah,
Oh, lovely overview here right now to highlight, again, FaZe are not on site.
Attackers have located
shield
a
down
bomb.
VIP. I mean, they'll probably look to unlock that and go default coffee, but still 3 gas babes available for Handy, and he's in a position where he might be able to deny that. Being said, over towards Coach Check rather at the moment, so
It's not,
it's
not uncommon, of course,
Blocking their side.
for Kitchen to be played in this fashion. If you're FURIA, take the time, get the vert angles, but the fact that they've not been capable of finding anyone so far onto the defense is going to really be dismal.
And Goyo canister.
Yeah, just spotted as well. So not really going to be able to plant there. 20 seconds left. Time is very much running out. This is one of the slower rounds that we've seen probably in the tournament. And KDS is still just positioned nicely towards VIP, even without that deployable shield. He's not scared. Eventually does lose his life to JV92, coming down from white stairs, holds that position. Philippon stuck in towards Freezer. Needs to bolt over, hash the shield screen up. Now goes for the plant. Big kill from KZ. Is there anything that can deny this plant from going down? It doesn't seem like it right now. No one even close to sight. Soul's running down the corridor. Needs to get a little bit of help as well from Cyber, but Cyber can't win the battle on the retake above. And in the end, FURIA's well-structured attack does pay dividends. It was slow, but it was methodical, and in the end, it works out nicely.
Yeah, I really like that. It took a while to get that going for FURIA, but there was a little bit of groundwork that, of course, had to be done with the vert. VIP clear was initially a little bit sketchy, but the sense utility there, the ROUs were really well played around by FURIA, facilitated the drop, then allowed the vault over in towards the more unconventional plant position, and that particular angle, it simply could not be denied by FaZe. The utility was dumped over towards the default on the chassis. They couldn't get line of sight in towards that plant spot because of the coverage elsewhere.
We've got a means for them as well.
Yeah.
And so far, blow for blow in the opening 2 rounds of this match. Final match of the group stage, 1-1. That's what we want. We want this back and forth. We want this to be close and go the distance. I will say for FURIA in that round, it never looked like they panicked. The time wasn't a big factor for them. 20 seconds to go to drop freezer, you know what you got to do. You know this one's still VIP, doesn't have the shield. Yes, KDS does get one, but the trade was pretty quick from JV. And then, as you said, the usage of the ROUs from the Sens was pretty much perfect. And FaZe were never in a position to be able to deny the plant itself because they were playing so far offside. Once FURIA got in, there was no denial.
Reading Dining then, round 3. Let's see who can get that break ahead before we get the additional bans in play and see how that shifts things.
That's going to be a big factor in terms of what do you kind of look to ban out.
Yeah.
Maybe the Valkyrie if you're FURIA.
Yeah, potentially. You could triple down with util clearance, but pretty unlikely. I think we'll certainly see what ends up being the case. FURIA electing not to bring IQ this round, so the effectiveness of that Valk should be exacerbated. Double flank watch on the cards though for FURIA, so anticipating a full map clear and preventing the retake potential from FaZe. We saw a little bit of that in the previous round, not necessarily with util, but any attempt to retake up above was cut off. On this side, it's a little bit different in how that dynamic plays out.
Hertz, by the way, is just sitting inside a dining right now. Another deep position here for FURIA as they look for that top floor clear. KZ shop. Yeah, Hertz roaming around on that first floor. Will be able to make his way up so they can go for a good vertical pinch. Right now it's very much, of course, top floor. Hold for FaZe, pretty standard. FURIA getting themselves into a position where they can get some good map control in this round, but they've got to probably pick up that FaZe. So far, no one presenting for FaZe. No one over-peaking, no one swinging, no one giving really much of an option back. Good frag, trying to push KDS back down that corridor, and it works successfully. Clears him from that washrooms and pixel position. And Hertz slowly making his way up now towards Pillar. KZ, though, met Cyber towards shop. Cyber got aggressive. And will lose his life for it and gives a slight advantage now for FURIA.
Whoa.
And a second one as well for KZ. Well, I said before, maybe that FaZe weren't really giving a lot back, but they start to get a little antsy on the defense, start to move out of their positions. Souls will hold deep inside a cocktail. Is his position known? Hasn't been fully cleared out just yet. Yellow Ping information, but the swing from JV92 is absolutely perfect despite being Yellow Ping. Still wins the swing battle. And he loves it so much, he's got to stand up. FURIA take the 2-1 lead and 2 attacking rounds on Cafe. Bodes well for them.
Yeah, a massive round from KZ, as highlighted on the desk. The 63rd ranked player at this event out of 100. Player that historically has posted big numbers as well. So, hasn't been his greatest event thus far. A highlight round for him as we have a look back at said highlights. Got the first onto Cyber, the regress there through shop. The rest of the clear above was pretty clean. We saw the trade over towards Pillar. And then KZ with the presence of mind to hold off against that retake attempt, White Stairs. Fine work from FURIA, building a little bit of momentum now on attack. And sort of mentioned before, just the defender-sided nature of this map, at least in the limited data we've seen at this event thus far. Probably more generally, again with the bans probably leaning, or the new ban system leaning itself a little bit more over towards defense. 2 rounds, solid. Anything more than that actually positions FURIA really, really nicely.
63% defensive win rate when it comes to Cafe so far at reload. Total rounds played 35, 22 of those in favor of defense. It's a pretty decent sample size when you compare to all the other maps as well. It's around that sort of normal mark. It's not above, it's not below. So yeah, 63% defensive win rate does then mean for FaZe, they really cannot allow the FURIA to find really many more attacking rounds, if any, to be honest. Pressure on them early.
Sort of interesting to note as well. Ying Valk banned out, but we see both Warden and IQ brought for round 4. Also kind of an influence that may have on this round.
I just wonder if FaZe might look to pick their pace up in the early portion of the rounds on the defensive side, because it's a lot of sitting back, hold your angles, and that's fine. And then when they kind of then went to actually get aggressive, it was a little too late. FURIA were in good position.
Well, not on this side, though. This is the objective where you want
Well, yeah, probably not as much here, but even like a roam, a flank, trying to do something, maybe try and stop someone from getting second floor control.
Tracks out. Reloading. Activated track.
Which is kind of what maybe Handy might be the one elected to do. He is on that second floor, roaming around on the Mozzie. You can play the Nitrocell angles as well. Oh, that's a swing. Well, there you go. That's what I wanted. That's what I get. Window swing from Cyber, captures Navy JB92. That's a big player to eliminate early in the round. FaZe get themselves the opening kill.
Able to drop down as well, forfeit that position, but get out safely. FaZe looking to consolidate in the back line. FURIA now needing to readjust. The site proving to be a challenge. KDS, washrooms, trying to find a pick against that upside down rappel from Nade, who flips back to the right way around. KZ for info, over towards Pixel. Is this the plan of attack for FURIA? The red drop into the classic clear. Do they want to maybe go for something a little bit different?
Well, last time out, remember, it was Philippox that dropped the skylight by himself and just ended up dying for free. This time now they lose JV to the window peak, so it's kind of playing out similar. FaZe, you know, an early kill, early advantage, difficult site to then take. You're down a player, got to get into better positions, try and push these players back out of positions like washrooms, and it kind of works out. Really good clear of KDS. That's some really solid teamwork from FURIA.
Yeah, absolutely brutal. KDS had to move, line of sight, cut off. Good set play from FURIA to get themselves back to a 4-4, but still a lot of work to be done. And only 50 seconds on the clock.
KZ is absolutely on a heater so far. 6-1 to begin inside of the opening 4 rounds. Herd's now into shop, so they can start to get some presence closer to the site.
Cyber's been able to retake washrooms in the meanwhile as well, so keep that in mind.
Handy still lurking a little bit down below. Has a Nitrocell available. The only one for FaZe. 30 seconds. FURIA once again keeping with this slow pace, but it has been working so far on their attacks. And Cyber wasn't expecting the left side swing from Herds to keep that pressure going. As Vita falls, so does Handy, and Sol's now by himself in a 1v3. And again, FURIA are just strangling FaZe on the defense. It's a slow burn in all these rounds. Good headshot from Sol. But there to trade is Philippox immediately in a third attacking round found early for FURIA. Setting the tone for this match already. FaZe may just about be heading for the ropes, because I tell you, they are stumbling.
Tá, é o seguinte, os bombs de cima, eles estão muito lentos. Cara, vamos pegar um bar de novo, só que, Randy, eu preciso que tu faça C4 e esse cara banando no Natal, tá ligado? Manter aquela pressão do trem tua.
Ninguém balou Natal, o cara comeu charuto.
Sim, mas pô, eu tô precisando de um cara lá mais presente de baixo pra dar uma dificuldade em cima dos caras, tá ligado? Pode fazer pixel charuto e tal, mas tipo, o round tá controlado. A gente só literalmente ficar paradinho ali quietinho. Eles não estão gastando recurso em cima de vocês pra tirar vocês de posição nem nada.
Acho que
é só literalmente deixa os caras jogar um pouco, deixa os caras entrar no mapa pra gente poder jogar.
Faz com a bomba.
Pode fazer o bar de novo e depois a gente faz o cozinha.
Tá.
Eu não dou cozinha ou Randy?
Well, right now, 3-1 down, and can be said, FaZe is struggling to deal with the execution phase of these rounds. That's when FURIA is really just closing it out nicely. It's 2-2 when it comes to the early entries. The early advantages have been rather equal, but in terms of the late round situations, FURIA are setting themselves up nicely. They're not rushing themselves. They've got good pace control, and it seems like they've got good coordination as to where people need to be at certain points to play off of what they're trying to do. And FaZe just are not able whatsoever to deal with it. Multiple rounds now where it's that late round execution. Things are looking nice, that time's ticking down. Maybe you get that false sense of security because you've got numbers up in good positions, but then a couple of nades start getting thrown in, and then you get pushed out of position. You're in a corridor, you get swung. And unfortunately now find themselves 3-1 down. Hello, Leo.
10 seconds left.
Camera ready to activate.
5 seconds remaining. Attackers are moving out to locate a bomb and defuse it.
I said your base of they are inspired, but you know you can afford these expenses. One day the world will see my work as more than just a weapon.
Consistent use.
Ready. Let them come.
Thank you very much, Leo. I only just heard the end of you actually there. I don't know if you went live or not.
I don't know if you can hear me.
I can hear you now.
No, you can hear me. All right. Sorry. I was just saying right now that FaZe is giving way too much space to FURIA. You can see that right now. No challenge on the windows. They're not abusing the defender-sided side of Cafe at all. Now, the thing is that we're noticing KZ is back on the leaderboard. He was not fragging at all the entire tournament. Second thing, every execute or every utility usage from FURIA is perfect. The sense for the execute on basement, the nades to remove strong positions. FURIA is on the top of their games, both in terms of firepower, but also in terms of utility usage.
Thank you very much, Leo. So 3-1 lead for FURIA, and yeah, I mean, as Alfama was kind of saying, they are on the top of their game right now, but they've kind of been on the top of their game all tournament. You can kind of look at their results and the way they've been playing yesterday. It seems like it really was just kind of a one-off blip.
And I mean, in stark contrast, the opening round, FURIA looked shocking, and then they've really just turned it on recently. That, as Leo's mentioned, the utility, the timing of the game plan's been great.
KZ, 8-1 again, leading the charge over towards shot. Forced back again, FaZe deep into sight. No one feels comfortable to be able to push out, try and get aggressive, try and take these swings. They've been losing them. With that, the confidence then falls. Oh, big swing again. KZ doing as he likes on Cafe. You may as well grab himself a cigar out of the shop and start heading for the beach. Have the day off tomorrow and get ready for the finals and send FaZe home. 10-1. But where's the response? I mean, FaZe are just looking like they are stuck in quicksand. KZ, another one. Keep the camera on that man. He is deadly. And Handy by himself, certainly in no position to be able to clutch this round. Does find the kill onto KZ. Finally shuts him down. He's now 12-2. Handy needs to find the next 3. And as good as Handy has been, I don't know if he's got this in him. And it should be a 4-1 lead for FURIA from here. So many good positions. Headshot from Handy. Can't win the battle. Pixel, had he done so, would have been only one more remaining. But they need more of that earlier in these rounds. They need that kind of, that play, that confidence. Moving around the map, they're just stuck. They're getting pushed out of position. I mean, FaZe are just not looking up for the fight.
Again, another really good example of what Leo's sort of alluding to, right? Where FaZe aren't leaning into the structure of the map. You've got to be doing a better job at contesting on the exterior. Once you allow boots on the ground on Cafe and you allow those opportunities to establish crossfires and expend utility, it's so difficult as a defending team, especially if you're playing this static, to survive. I mean, these players are just getting caught in really weird positions. Cyber, sure, probably should have won the trade there, got it maybe a little bit unfortunate, but then the rest of the team under so much pressure to manufacture plays. And that's not going to work against the FURIA that are playing so well. Yeah, the vibes are very good.
I mean, why wouldn't they be? They're getting a 62% defensive win rate on this map so far at Reload, and FURIA are just doing all of the damage on the attack. I mean, if it was kind of sides flipped, probably wouldn't be as alarmed, but right now the alarm bell's certainly ringing in the FaZe headquarters. Must win this next round.
Attackers are moving to defuse a bomb.
FaZe haven't really been that great at attacking either at the event. 9th, 46% attacker win rate. They're 15th as well for plants and entries. So if they're kind of struggling in that department, imagine them bringing that over to Cafe. It's going to be even more difficult. And this is why I probably didn't want to hype this match up too much, because FURIA have been playing really well this tournament. FaZe have been shaky. And we're seeing that before our very eyes in this match.
Getting a similar vibe here on the bottom floor in terms of the defensive setup from FaZe. Everybody on the first floor, the positions that I'm seeing as well, rather static. Different lineup though from FURIA. Last time out, a lot of it was hedged on the sense and being able to drop down, go for the vault plan as opposed to default, and it was the perfect plan into what FaZe presented this time around. A little bit different. See the blitz in the hands of Philippox on this particular occasion. Maybe a tool to clear VIP with a little bit more aggression this time around. We'll see what the game plan ultimately is. But once again, it's pretty free real estate.
There's no contest up above. Yeah. There's no onus from FaZe to say we want to go up and challenge. We're going to just sit back, back ourselves in. But so far you've been doing that all half and it just hasn't been working. Nothing is changing from FaZe. Don't get me wrong, I understand kind of backing in your systems and the core fundamentals, but something has to give, something has to change, because FURIA just running all over FaZe, especially in the late round executions. And think about last time we were here as well, and it was very much that sense. You mentioned it's not here this time, but now you've got the blitz. Ooh, the purple shield's a bit further back. Vulcan canister, or I think that might have been the fire pipe.
Well, Nade still has one in pocket. Needs to make sure that the second does land if they are to clear that shield.
I mean, Philippok's very much going to overwhelm KDS's position. He is by himself on an island inside a VIP. Oh, KDS swings out. That's wild, but hey, they needed it. They needed some of that aggression. As the pressure was mounting from FURIA, FaZe needed to be the ones to stand up, and KDS holds his position inside a VIP very nicely. Slow to the draw against JV92, allows him through that corridor position with the kit still in hand, and KZ still in the server, in freezer. And no, he's not very cold in there because this man is absolutely blazing hot, but there's only 17 seconds remaining. And hiding very nicely is Handy. Pops up, takes down the bad man, and FaZe will close out the half with the second round.
Yeah, really good work there from FaZe in punishing FURIA on that particular occasion. KDS especially on that frost over towards VIP. Able to make good.
Well, he got on the front foot, didn't he? He got aggressive at that point.
Yeah, he's catching that follow-up frag grenade to try and dislodge the deployables to then allow the blitz to come through. And not only does he kill the sledge, but then any follow-up threat from the blitz as well. So massive round from him. Keeps the rest of the systems intact there from FaZe on that static hold below, and in doing so, they're still in with a shot here on Cafe.
I mean, you're never going to count either of these two teams out.
Until the very end, yeah. That's
Until the very end. It doesn't matter if it's 6-2 FURIA. I don't care. You don't count either of these two teams out. They're both one hammers for a reason. They're champions for a reason. But it's going to be difficult for FaZe. Now going on to the attack of Cafe. You need the first one. The first one would be so big, just for that confidence booster. 2 rounds in a row, something that they've not been able to do so far in this match. Bring that scoreboard pressure back down a little bit, then it's only 3-4. Set the tone nice and early.
I'm having a look across at just some of the metrics for this match thus far, and it really is quite close. 3-3 in terms of opening kill conversion, so converted on 3 occasions and 3 times it hasn't. Those opening kills also split 3-3, so the opening duels were really tight between the two.
I mean, that wasn't really the difference in the half, was it? It wasn't the early portion. It was that late
mid to late round.
execution.
I mean, it seems like 3 is the magic number in this match, but on 3 occasions, KZ finding multi-kills, 2 3Ks, 4K round 5.
Throwing shield.
He's been a massive difference maker.
KZ is a 195 EPS.
Yeah.
In an elimination game.
He's picked the perfect moment to step up his game, 100%.
100% perfect moment.
And I mean, again, it's not solely been him. There's been good displacement and information gathering from the rest of the team, but someone has to get in there and get the job done, and it's been him on this occasion. We'll see how that translates over to the second half, though. FURIA now defense.
Yeah, I mean, who's going to set the tone early, though, for FaZe on the attack?
Really good question.
I'm reloading.
Because, you know, for FURIA, it's quite easy. KZ was just walking into the building, just picking up frags left, right, and center. Now you've got to go do that. Someone from FaZe. Do they have that same coordination and systematic execution that we saw from FURIA? So FaZe need to kind of replicate what we saw from FURIA. Shock drone employed.
They're looking for Cat.
Plenty of gadgets here as well for the shock drone to be effective.
Yeah. Mirror as well in the back line. It's playing Pixel Shield, okay. Some of that catch, though,
well, he's playing off of that Yokai drone that he set up as well towards Lounge. Which I don't know if that one actually got shot out.
Watch your horizon. Magnets ready.
KZ below as well with Nitro, so he's likely positioning to assist that when the mid push comes through. Do FaZe even want to go for that, though? We'll wait and see, but it could be a cocktail focus. At least Vidiking currently self-sufficient on the Nomad. It does draw out 1 Nitro, so it could be impactful come late round. Lion scans come through as well, and Souls has taken control and shot.
KDS finds the opening pick. That's what FaZe needed. Souls, though, with the peek over towards backstore. KZ, though, well, he did find the kill, eventually traded. Numbers now in favor of FaZe throughout that little exchange. Diffuser kit towards shop with still plenty of time in the round. This is what you want if you're FaZe. A little scrap. Edge it out in terms of that man count. And now you've got 60 seconds to think through a 3 versus 2 advantage on this top floor site. Cyber lit up, and the shot from Nade will hit the head and evens up that man count and gives away the slight advantage that FaZe had.
Just makes things a little bit more interesting now.
And they're not even inside of the building.
And they'll have to contest these long angles as well, which is going to be a challenge. It's just about playing tight and trading it.
Vidiking just wondering if Herds has gone roaming towards Lounge. Herds is still just stuck over towards washrooms. Nade playing the long angle, like you said, with the DMR.
Oh, Henry's going to play the solo repel, okay.
When's his brother going to get inside of the building, though? Finally in towards Cocktail Balcony. It is going to be Handy. 15 seconds. Kit not even being a factor at this point. Herds will go for the swing. He can play the time if he wants to. They go for the pinch. Handy takes down his brother, and with Vidiking's pistol, they finally get a huge round. 2 in a row for FaZe. 3-4. And that's what they needed to kickstart the second half.
That's how you play it as a duo. Perfect way to isolate that player over towards Cocktail. Made it really awkward. Had to try and at least win one of those duels, did FURIA, but unable to do so. Washrooms allowing that crossover towards Bar deep into that position as well, proving costly. Lots of quick trades through the mid-round.
Yeah, a bit scrappy, wasn't it? But I think that's how FaZe probably want to play this.
Yeah, they did such a good job in nullifying Herds in that round and not allowing him to support his teammate at Cocktail.
And the mental aspect now becomes a thing, because you had a 4-1 lead if you were FURIA, absolutely firing, blazing hot. KZ couldn't do anything wrong. You got 4 attacking rounds early, and suddenly FaZe just kind of go bang, bang. Okay, game back alive, 3-4 scoreline, and showed that they've got the capabilities.
10 seconds.
But like you said, I mean, the pinch onto Nade really kind of set them up for that round win, rather than focusing on Kit, rather than focusing like, you get the Kit, you go for the plant, I'll try and get the kill. They played together as a duo, and it worked out for them in their favor for FaZe Clan. And one thing to note as well, for the last 4 rounds played, 3 opening kills to FaZe. So they're starting to actually capitalize now on the early round advantages. And you're going to get to a point as well for FURIA. If they lose a couple more rounds, it's like, who's going to help KZ? Can't do it all.
They're dining then for round number 8 of reading. And early indications that FaZe are going to go for the map clear top down across. Double flank watch again being employed. We saw that on 3 occasions on the attacking half of FURIA, and so that trend now continuing here into FaZe's attacks. Twitch once more in play, and Cyber was able to get quite a bit of catch in the prior round onto the Wamai. This time out though, looking for the BBC in default, captures them both. ADS devices though could have a significant impact in this round as well, especially for the holdover towards Cocktail, which I assume has seen some of that investment top white as well.
Yeah, I mean, you're going to have to overwhelm that with bodies and guns. You can't just, you know, flash them out and get a freebie. So lurk through Pillar. Cyber maybe just hoping to see if he can catch someone towards the site that's unaware of this lurk position.
He needs to watch his back though.
He does. Default was up, left it temporarily. I like the noise made though towards Brown Stairs. It kind of just says, yeah, watch your back. Yellow ping. Yeah, no surprise. Of course, someone's up there. Wow. Cyber, had he gone for the pre-fire, may have actually been able to find that kill. They're just posturing so much around this pillar side, which means they're not getting a whole lot done. Not clearing above, not taking site control. Herds. Does he look to get aggressive?
Got droned. Might not have seen it if he's playing 4-3.
Oh, he's going to go for the drop. There are players here, though. They are absolutely everywhere inside of Pillar. Herds not realizing it just dropped into the shark tank. And gives FaZe the lead.
50 seconds then. JV moving towards White Stairs. Can he be the one to step up? Unable to really progress forward off the back of the fire extinguisher.
Vidiking looking for, I think, a default plant. Pillar inside of Reading, but Reading close by is for Leapbox. 2 gas papers available. He pushes out inside his smoke. Oh, but watching, waiting.
Wow.
Talk about discipline from Vidiking. To wait for that swing, to expect that smoke, to get so aggressive. Yellow ping intel towards the site. That's on to Nade. He sits for the time being with a Nitrocell still available, but he senses that pressure. He knows that he is very much stuck. Peek up, shot still there. Vidiking, though, you've got 10 seconds. You've got Kit.
Does he go for the kill or does he go for the plant? JV92 steps up and Vidiking eventually does find it. JV92 though, can he be the one to step up? Only a couple of seconds on the clock and Souls needs to find the kill. He won't.
Wow, what a calamity for FaZe! Trying to do a little too much. towards the end of that round. Rather than keeping it simple, going for a plant, they go for the kills. It doesn't work out. No time left. 5-3 lead for FURIA. And how costly will that be for FaZe Clan?
Very fine margins in this matchup. Any mistake, any round could compound. Tough. FURIA, I think, smiling a little bit, probably sensing that they got away with one there. FaZe did a good job grappling the mid-round, but towards the end, maybe their prio towards that win condition wasn't necessarily the best decision. I mean, we're saying that with hindsight, though. Credit to FURIA in stepping up. When you look back at that replay package, Vidiking, really the presence of mind. They're so surgical in this attack until the final moments. Vidiking getting caught there on the vault, and Soul's quite a distance away, so maybe a little bit disconnected.
It's a difficult one to dissect with so much happening and two quality teams going at it. Decisions that get made have to be followed through at that point. But I think you're right. FURIA probably sensing they got away with one. FaZe have been dominating the opening kills now 4 of the last 5 rounds, but not quite getting them all onto the scoreboard. 2 of those have not been converted into round wins. So again, kind of, you think of the first half, what was the issue for FaZe? Late round execution. What was the issue in that round? Late round execution. Setup was fine. Got good picks, got good control towards Pillar, punished Herd's misposition. But ultimately, you couldn't get the round win. And those rounds are the difficult ones as a team to mentally kind of get over. You got to put it in the back of your mind, move on. 9th round ahead. Cannot allow FURIA to get to that match point, which would give them a boon of confidence. Well, KZ's just walked into the nest and Cyber wasn't ready for it. Needed to spring that trap. Well, Vidiking does get lit up. He finally shuts down KZ. It's 1 for 1, but damage done. You don't have that buck anymore, and your Deimos is on so low health that he can't really go hunting freely.
So they puts him in a tricky position now. Minute 50. Pressure mounting here from FaZe. Lionscan spots out Nade over towards reading, so horizontal extension in play, and Handy may look to contest that in a moment's time, but elsewhere, eyes here on KDS.
Such a difference in the way that FURIA are kind of playing this defense, and Cafe, they're happy to move around the map and swing and try and be aggressive. KDS, though, punishing that onto Herds, but like Vidiking as well, very low on health. And so while FaZe may have more players alive inside of the server, FURIA by no means in an awful position. Won't take much to shut down KDS and Vidiking. Feels like a very pivotal round. And it just feels like FaZe are just holding on to this match. This round would just give them a little bit more grip strength.
Let's have a look. Tracker active.
And that tracker is active. And Nade under quite a bit of pressure now. Can Vidiking look to find the pick? Wallbang attempt from Handy.
Oh, so close. So close, another chance. Nade, no. Swing can't take him down. Certainly an opportunity there. Missed for FaZe. 30 seconds, and as that time ticks down, you start to panic, and the swing through the smoke, and JV92 is the smoke criminal. Pushes through, double kill. FURIA are on the verge of gaining match point, 3 of which. And Vidiking, surely on so low health, cannot win 3 different battles. He does win 1, 2 required more with 10 seconds left though. Surely not capable. And one up close, ready for it, hearing him running down that hallway. It is fully blocked, and it is FURIA that have got 3 match points against FaZe.
FURIA is certainly the better team inside of the server currently, making it very difficult for FaZe to break down these systems on defense. Just playing a really, really, really disciplined brand of Siege at the moment that's proving challenging to break down. We await the additional bans now.
Well, I think one of the biggest differences is you think back to the first half, FURIA on their attacks could kind of do what they wanted because FaZe were just so far back. FaZe were just really doing such a service for FURIA. By sitting so far back, FURIA could kind of set up the way that they wanted to set up, get into positions they wanted to get in. On the flip side, though, when FURIA are on the defense, they're active, they're moving around. You've got Herds, you've got KZ, they're swinging, they're getting in your face, they're disrupting your attack, they're forcing you to think about these positions like White Stairs. Do they come down? Do they look to push us? Just far more mobile. So service and cooking, match point, number 1 of 3 for FURIA, looking to knock out FaZe from reload, looking to book their place in the arena.
In position.
And it would be somewhat of a disappointment as well for the reigning SI champions to not make main stage. There is that added pressure.
Expectation.
10 seconds remaining.
Say what you want about the format of this particular event.
5
FaZe
seconds
would
left
have been
before
going in
insertion.
with the mindset of we are going to double down and win it.
Attackers
And
are
they might not
moving
even make it to the stage.
Mine going out.
Still not out of it yet, though. And we know that they can fight back.
If FURIA win this, it makes them such a threat going into the main stage. They would have a 4-1 record. They only one loss to Dark Zero 2-7. It just feels like such an anomaly at this point.
Yeah.
Bitter King on the Montang. Handy can play behind on the Glaz. We've only got the 2 smokes available. Warden is in play though on Hertz. He's holding White Stairs currently.
Yeah, we've seen a lot of these slow build-ups in
Yeah.
many of these rounds. It's just classic between the two.
Yeah.
So
It just comes down to the execution.
you've just got to find the slightest advantage, whether it be on attack or defense, and it can make such a world of difference just due to the nature of the pacing and the execute style of these teams.
But and this is the thing where it comes down to that knowledge. We know both teams want that slow setup.
Oh,
focus.
upside down rappel?
Yes, upside down rappel. The
Another trade,
one out
I
though
mean.
is perfect from JB92. Good positioning.
Yeah.
And good quick response.
Losing the smoke, though, I mean, ultimately, it is a positive trade for FaZe.
A very slight one at that, and it is KZ though, so you probably add an extra bonus point on top of it. Bitter King making his way down White Stairs now. But yeah, both teams have very much employed this very similar slow build-up playstyle here on Cafe. Hertz, lurking, reading.
I like it.
Brace yourself!
He doesn't get cleared by Bitter King. It's essentially a free kill. If
Does he
someone-
activate, and if so, when?
I think he chills and waits for someone to rotate Brown. Until the very late round, he goes for the late sweep.
Slowly making his way through reading.
Might be too little too late, though, potentially. I mean, Cybers surely stays up for Vert, though, right? Hertz doesn't have any certainty as to where these players are, so he has to naturally be cautious.
Cyber not thinking about this too much. He's watching Brown Stairs, and he may not be ready for Hertz. He's already tucked in on this pillar side. Cyber may feel like, although the way he is moving around the map and the timing, it's everything here in this exchangement.
Oh my goodness.
Cyber has to win this, and he cannot. Hertz shuts him down, and with that, FURIA are well-placed and Handy the solo and a 1v4, and FaZe, you can say goodbye to them at the hands of FURIA, who have booked their place in the arena. The final team to do so here at Reload, and they do it convincingly. 7-3 against the reigning champions.
FURIA ecstatic. Once again, the opportunity to play in front of their home crowd. They played a brutal brand of Siege here on Cafe, had a really good read on FaZe, and able to execute.
They booked their place into the main stage. The reigning SI champions knocked out by the former SI champions. It's a little bit fitting. It wasn't quite maybe the greatest match of all time this time around between these two teams. But hey, for FURIA, they have been playing exceptionally well at this event so far. Their 4-1 record going into the main stage is certainly something that you have to say is very much deserved for their position. For FaZe, a 2-3 record means that as they are eliminated, rightfully so. We'll go to a short break. Of course, when we come back, Desk will break it all down.
FURIA is playing in the main main stage, and you were one of the reasons for the qualified, because the number of kills you had, you were such a beast, Casey. Congratulations.
Thank you. Today was my day, I think, in the recent match. I think, yes. Because in the recent matches, I didn't play very well. So today, I think, was my match. And I was like very hyped because I want to play at the main stage. And I want to win the tournament. And that is.
And FaZe versus FURIA, it's always such a fun match to watch it. Is it fun playing? Because you are both like really friends with FaZe Clan.
Yeah, always a good match against them because we don't know who is gonna win. So it's very like really close matches. So for me, it's like fun to play against everybody there because we are friends, like you said. So for me, it's always very good to play against them.
Yeah. Talk about the environment and right now, because every time you would win a round, JV and Hertz would get pink and JV would stand up. So how was it?
Like yesterday, we talk about get hyped today, very a lot. And so they do that for us because they are the two guys that on the team that is 100% every time hyped. They
crazy also.
Yeah, crazy. And always also me. I like have some times that I scream a lot. So round by round. So the environment was very good.
And I've heard that you invited like your family members to come to Rio and watch you play. Is that right?
Oh, my CEO said that I invite all the family, but like only my mom, my sister, my dad, and my girlfriend. So I want to be there playing to them.
You needed to play in the main stage so they could see you, right? And now we have best of 3. What changes the most for FURIA and also the other teams? It's a new format, right?
Like for us, best of 3 is our best for us. Like best of 1, if you are not in the match in the beginning, you can lose. Like yesterday against Dark Zero, like we're not the team that we are. So like if you have another map, maybe we could win the match.
So you have more time to adapt.
Yes. So best of 3 is like what we want for the.
And now you will have it. So now what?
Yeah, now we're gonna get the trophy.
Okay, parabéns. Tamo junto. And now that's it for today. Now I see you guys on Friday.
Friday is all locked in. All our 8 teams are in. We'll discuss that, of course, in our post show. The last one we'll have in our group stage. But first up, this was not what we expect. I mean, this was not what you expected if you have been away from CG Sports for a year, or maybe like heard, wow, FaZe won SI, that's gotta be sick. We get this rematch, and then suddenly FURIA on the attack on Cafe Dostoyevsky. Make them look like chumps.
Yeah, I mean, we talked about it. FURIA is arguably the best team on Cafe, in my opinion, just because of the way that they attack and defend against it. It's so unique. No other team can mimic it. And we already set it up that FaZe looked to have been struggling so far in the tournament. So FURIA being able to correct their mistakes against going up against a structured team, going to a comfortable map for themselves, getting a 4-2 lead on attack, which is one of the hardest things to do on Cafe. Their innovation on the way that they were going for the executes was amazing.
FaZe was coming back, and at around 8, that triple 4K from JV actually was the one that saved them. Yeah. After that moment where only FaZe won 1 round in attack, they developed all of their strength in defense. And if you look at FURIA, what it means to them, lots of pressure off their shoulders now. They're making it to main stage in front of the family, and they fully deserve it. The way they've done it, it's not sheer firepower. Yes, KZ went crazy, but the strategy in them, the sense used in execution in basement,
yes,
the gridlock used at the same time to watch the flank, the combination between the Thatcher, the flashes, and the nades to remove strong position, the utility game was there on top of the fragging power.
And those 2 players that we mentioned at the start being the key players for both teams, KZ, I'm glad you mentioned it. He turned up this game. He was so detrimental. And that's why I'm saying Cafe is so good for him, because he just dominates Christmas. He is able to hold that piano area like his life depends on it. And as for FaZe, the map didn't work in Cyber's favor. He was constantly getting shut down. He couldn't find those opening kills. He couldn't be able to get the ball rolling. Unfortunately for FaZe, Cyber is the key. We saw it in Boston. He's the reason why. His unpredictability is what gets FaZe that edge, and Cafe just limits it so much.
And Davide, you even mentioned it. Once we saw our map, that's a FURIA map, Cafe Dostoevsky. I'm wondering, did FaZe just lose it out here? And yeah, clearly, it seemed to be.
Yeah, I mean, I think, honestly, the way FURIA was playing, especially their executes on attack, it was really very difficult to stop it. Any map that they went to would have been, in my opinion, a FURIA win, but FaZe did not do themselves any favors, and yeah, I called it at the start.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
So far, honestly, it's no surprise for me. I was telling you, FaZe has been FURIA's nemesis for a long time. But if there was one event where they could come back to 2023 in terms of shape, and I said it, I think in the first 2 or 3 days of this event, I said FURIA is looking like they're back. You know, it's not only been a rough year for them in terms of fighting power. For me, it's been a rough year in terms of team, you know, in terms of coordination. And today, what we saw, attacking on one of the most defender-sided map in the meta, it's a 4-2 split. It should have been a 5-1. It's been wildly impressive from FURIA.
W7M and to some extent FaZe also have stolen the limelight out of FURIA's, or under their feet after FURIA's SI victory back in Sao Paulo at SI24. Seems like things are recovering quite fast, but then again, we swap the best of threes and things will be different. However, that's for our post-show. First up, our Blacklight detail, our final one for this FaZe 1 group stage. Gents, what do you got for me?
We've been saying for years that FURIA are the best gunners in the game. Yeah? The problem has been the strategy. Well, let me show you a perfect execution from FURIA with 13 seconds left in the round. Send the first stance to cover the first line of sight to VIP. Send the second one, that's Felipox for you. He's facing smoke, he's facing Goyo canisters. You can see it on the B-bomb side. But because he uses the sense scanners, he's able to play straight on an off spot, close to that freezer window, and that enables them to literally execute with 30 seconds left, 13 only. It's crazy to me because they're bringing a huge strategic layer on top of having the best firepower in the world.
Absolutely, because most of the time for an execute like that, they also had the top red player. Usually they have another player over by train holding both doorways, and most of the time teams will go for usually a microwave plant, and that's where you see the smokes and the Goyos come out. But they understood, they read the situation, they knew there was no C4 to come over through the sense wall to be able to drop the diffuser in a bad spot, and they planted. A couple of shots rained through. My heart raced a little bit when I saw the bullets, but once he was able to get that case down.
He's sticking that. It's Felipox. You know, he's the best.
Once it was down at that point, even the retake that FaZe tried to go for, it got shut down. They had the understanding, the read on everything that FaZe wanted to do.